You know, disease is steadily rising in the United States. Do you know somebody with diabetes, breast cancer, fibromyalgia, heart disease, chronic pain? Maybe you have one of these conditions. The fact is, if you were to stop somebody in the street right now, I'll bet you that that person knows somebody with all of these conditions. Where is the state of our health right now compared to years ago? Well, let's first look at breast cancer. In 1960, 1 out of 20 women contracted breast cancer. That number rose to 1 out of 15 in 1990. Today, it is 1 in 8. 1 in 8. If I was to count all the women in this room right now, it's pretty scary to think about how many of us are here versus this statistic. Every 3 minutes in the United States, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer. According to a recent study, as a country, the United States spends more on health care than any other surveyed country. Are we the healthiest? No, we are the sickest and the fattest of all industrialized countries. Let's take obesity. There was an extensive study done by the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, that extended over 20 years. What they did is they looked at the prevalence of obesity trends across the United States. They did this by calculating what's called the BMI, which stands for Body Mass Index. This number told them how overweight a person was. Those that were included in the study are those that were 30 pounds or more overweight. Let's take a look at a slide and see what they found. 1985. Now, let me explain this picture a little bit. Anything in the white, states in the white category, there's no data at that time. Anything in the light blue category means less than 10% were diagnosed according to having 30 pounds or more overweight. And then the darker color is 10 to 14% of the population of that state. In 1985, this was the state. 1989, half the country is in the highest category of 10 to 14%. 1991, they add a new category, 15 to 19%. And more than half the country is now in the second highest category. 1995, half the country is in the higher category, 15 to 19%. 97, they add another category, greater than 20% of the population, 30 pounds or more overweight. There's nobody in the lower categories anymore. 2000, half the country is in the highest category of greater than 20%. 2001, they add another category, greater than 25%. 2004, greater than 25% of the population overweight, 30 pounds or more in about 10 states. And more than half the country, almost all of the country, are 20 to 24%. 2005, they add another category, greater than 30%. Now there's only a couple states that aren't affected in the higher category. Can we say that this is getting better? No. No, this is definitely getting worse. Well, what has been traditional mainstream treatment in the United States? Let me see by a show of hands how many of you have taken a drug, some form in your lifetime, whether it be a prescription drug or an over-the-counter non-prescription drug. Let me see your hands. Okay. Everyone. Thank you. Okay, please put your hands down. Thank you. Now let me see how many of you, by a show of hands, how many of you feel great, have no health problems? You feel confident that your health is heading in the right direction. Please raise your hands. Okay, I see one. Oh, there's another one. And both of you don't look very confident out of the two that raised their hands. Well, let's look at the facts. In 2000 alone, 2.9 billion prescription drugs were handed out to the public, which when you do the math, equates to every person in the United States consuming 1,200 prescription drugs. Now, I didn't consume any, so somebody is getting my share. In 2006, that number jumped to 4 billion prescription drugs prescribed. As a whole, The United States consumes more than 50% of all of the drugs in the entire world. Yet, as we've seen, the incidence of disease is growing, and our statistics are going in the wrong direction. Well, why is this? Because we are forgetting about the most important element in both healing disease and preventing disease, and that's our bodies. We commit crimes against our bodies on a regular basis. Our immune systems are weakened daily. Our bodies are inundated with toxic chemicals from the food, the drugs, and the environment. Our food is nutritionally bankrupt and does not contain all the nutrition that we need on a daily basis. We have poor circulation. We're under a lot of stress. Lastly, we ignore our symptoms or we cover them up instead of addressing the cause. Well, what is the cause, you may ask? This is what we're here to find out. By learning these causes, we arrive at the solutions. There are simple, natural ways to turn your health around, restore your body, and prevent future diseases that may be forming in your body right now. Prevent these diseases from ever occurring. But you need to take action. You will leave here tonight feeling armed with information that you can start using immediately to change your life the minute you walk out this door. We're going to take a look at your health and see what steps need to be taken to get you where you want to be. So let's get started.